One, and we are live.
And we're live. Yo, what's up, PlayStation Nation? And welcome to episode 22 of the Greatness Podcast with your host, Supersonic Wolf. And alongside me, I do have the one, the only, the god of PlayStation. I have my man Kratos here once again.
Mm,
What's happening? What's going on? It's been over a week, man. What's up?
definitely, man. Hey, everybody. It's your boy J Dub, aka Kratos, the god of PlayStation. Me and my man Wolf are back here again, ready to entertain you guys and give you some facts and the latest information that's going on in the gaming streets. Let's
Yeah, man.
let's get ready to
Yeah, we're switching on all lanes, man. We're gonna be on the PlayStation streets. We're gonna be on the multi-plat streets.
the
We're gonna be,
exclusive streets.
yeah, man.
Nintendo.
The streets full of bangers as well. And
Mhm.
by the way, happy 4th of July to all you guys out there who are celebrating. Hope you had a great day with your families. I hope some of you stay safe, stayed out of trouble. Kratos, do you know, like over here in London, right? I
Mhm.
don't mean to bring this up. People were doing some crazy stuff over here, man. Like random dudes on the streets throwing acid on each other.
What? Damn.
Yeah, bro, that's some insane stuff going on here, man. So look, if
Yeah.
you live in London right now, I suggest you be careful, be safe, and
Mhm.
protect yourselves at all times
Yeah.
because you could have some random person throwing acid on you, and if they throw acid on your face, that's not going to be good, man. It'll be hard for you to find a girl, especially if you look a certain way. But anyway,
Mhm.
uh, let's get to the topics right now, man. The first thing I wanted to get on right now was Michael Pachter, industry analyst. He stated that the PS5 will have backwards compatibility with PS4 games.
Mhm.
And we were talking about this for a very long time, and I really hope, and I was really thinking that, yeah, man, like I really do hope, Sony actually had backwards compatibility. I could hear myself, by the way, but yeah, I was actually hoping that PS5 would have PS4 backwards compatibility, but not only that, I was hoping that you could have PS3, PS2, and PS1. I really want it
Exactly.
to be the all-in-one system
Mhm.
where you don't have to, pay for a subscription service to pay, to play older games or whatever. I want it to be a fully unified system. But well, what do you have to say about it, man? Like, is this something that you want? Is it something that you really care for? Or would you only care for PS5 games once PS5 is here?
I'm a unique kind of guy, man.
Mm,
Once something new comes out, I throw
mm.
away the old and I box it up and I stick it in the closet, never to be played for a long time. I look for new experiences and new games, not the old. I look forward and not the past. Um, I do understand for a lot of people who's making that transition, it's easier for them if they were able to play their current games and stuff like that. But I'm a new kind of guy. If I when I spend $400, $500, $600 on a console, it's not for the old stuff. I've already played the previous games. I've already beat them or whatever. I've already got that enjoyment. Now I want to see the stuff that I haven't seen before. The Last of Us 3 and the Uncharted 10s and the new next generation games. And you know as well as I know is this generation started off with a bunch of remasters. Now, I'm not going to say that they were bad, but at the same time, I was ready to skip 3 years into the future because I'm ready for the new. Uh,
You ready
I
for the new?
I'm ready for the new. Now, I do like remasters. I'm not going to lie, I do like some remasters, but at the same time, that's that's not why I spent all this money on this console. I spent it because I want to be amazed at what this thing can do, not just have some of my old games that I played on the OG systems and the PS2 and the PS3 and then the PS4. It's like if that was the case, I would have just stuck with the previous model. But again, That's my perception of why I invest my money into a platform. It's for the new stuff, not the old stuff.
I hear you, man. I kind of think differently. I like to have access to my back catalog when it comes down to, let's just say, like, I play a new game, right, on the
Mm-hmm.
PS5, which was something that dropped on the PS3, and I never got to play the one on PS3. At
Yeah.
least I have the option and the access is there if I want to play. Let's just say something like, let's just say Dark Souls 4 comes out on the PS5, and
Yeah.
I never played Dark Souls 1, but
Mm-hmm.
I have that option to play Dark Souls 1. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's why I think it's always a plus and it's always a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to use it all the time, probably not, but as long as I know I have that access
Mm-hmm.
there to that library and have the ability to download those games, because
Mm-hmm.
let's just face it, man, PlayStation Now has been very underwhelming to me. It ain't such a great service. I'm just gonna keep it real because it's laggy as hell. You can't really download your games. Hey, you have access to a lot of games. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of bangers there on PS Now, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just that experience. You're not gonna experience it. It's so different. It's so different compared to when you play it natively, like on a disc or when you download it. I just wish Sony allowed you to download these games natively to your console so you can play. Well, at least the PS4 games anyway.
Yeah. Well,
Speaking of
uh,
which, we do have Knack and Killzone Shadowfall already confirmed for PlayStation Now. So
that's correct.
apparently, according to a lot of people, those games are no longer exclusives.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing that I wanted to mention. Whether you want to call it exclusive or not, obviously it's all subjective. It's all a matter of an opinion. Uh, some people will still look at those games as exclusives because you're not downloading the game. You don't get to keep it. You don't have no ownership of it. Anytime, let's just say Sony want to completely get rid of the service, those games are going to be full exclusives again. You don't get to play it anywhere else. So, in all reality, Sony are in full control when it comes down to the IPs and exclusives.
Yeah.
They're
You're
in
right.
full control.
You're
They're in
right.
cruise control, yo.
You are right, man. You are right. There's probably, I'm not gonna lie, there's probably about 5 people that have signed up for the PS Now service. Uh, and it fits that niche to, hey, if you have an itch for an old game, then you know what? Fine. Go sign up for the service. You can play it. The service is offered on your PC, so you could do that as well. The choice is there. It's just not, again, it's not for me. It's just like I would never be excited for Call of Duty Black Ops 2 on backwards compatibility because guess what? I've spent 12 years playing that game. I mean, back then playing it. Why would I? I kind of look at backwards compatibility. In the beginning, it's good. But we've been complaining beginning of this generation, that devs are lazy. It's holding back the greatness. It's holding back the newness and the new games and stuff like that. The developers are just relying on old games and they're just, taking money from us and stuff. So as gamers, we're very fickle on what we want. We don't
Yeah,
know what we want. We say we want this, but when we get it, then it's like we complain about it and we whine about it. But it's like, look, you guys wanted new games. We're giving you new games, but you don't buy it. And then we give you old games. You complain this old games, but you do buy it.
I
I don't get it.
I personally think that backwards compatibility is also good when it comes down to, when you're launching a new console, like you hit next generation, the console's finally launched, and there ain't a whole lot of games to choose from or to select and play. So that's where backwards compatibility will be really useful. So you can still go back to some of your back catalog and you can have access to that and play those and beat those. So that's why I'd say, backwards compatibility is good. Like, let's just say at the beginning of PS4, it really would have been good because there were some games on PS3 people missed out on, like Nino Kuni,
Mhm.
God of War Ascension, GT Sports, The Last of Us, even though they remastered it, but people never had access to that immediately. So that's why I'm saying, like, sometimes backwards compatibility is good. Sony, they've been supporting their console all the way to the end, and I do give them credit for that. And they're still been getting bangers this year. They've been getting
Mhm.
Persona 5,
Yeah,
in 2017. PS3 are still getting bangers. It's just crazy, bro. It really is.
exactly.
I don't know the last game that came out on 360 that's exclusive. So, if you know the answer to that, please put it on the chat. But
Mhm.
I know for a fact PS4 is still getting, I mean, PS3 is still getting bangers. What else you want to add to that? And it's something you don't care for. You made it really clear. You don't care, whether or not it's going to have backwards compatibility with PS4, the PS5.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, it's
it,
it doesn't bother me that it's there. It's just a feature I'm not going to use because I keep my systems. If I want to go back and play PlayStation 3 games, that's what I have a PlayStation 3 for. But I do understand, a lot of people take their systems and trade them in order to, be able to afford the other ones.
yeah,
But I'm looking at it on the Xbox side of things. These guys are, Microsoft announced the original Xbox titles. They announced the Xbox 360 games on it, and it's like somehow these guys have a stack and stack and stacks of CDs from the Xbox 360, but they don't have a 360 or OG Xbox, and they don't have an OG Xbox. So it's like, you know, these guys are either buying these games all over again, or they've been hoarding these games and not the system. So, I mean, which one do you
yeah.
think it is?
I don't know. I feel like Microsoft have been holding these backwards compatible games.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, I don't know, they've been holding it really high, dangling it on everybody's head like a carrot on a string. That, hey, look, there's a backwards compatible game, and then people just get excited over it, like it's some new shit. But in all reality, you could have played that 5, 6 years ago. So it's not really a big deal. But I understand if those, who haven't played those games, I guess it's something new for them. But I played the best of the best from last gen. I'm ready to move forward. And
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I do like the feature, and OG Xbox backwards compatibility. The fact that that's coming real soon.
Mm-hmm.
That game. I mean, that console has some really great games that I would like to replay and go and play again. But if it doesn't have achievements, it kind of defeats the whole purpose in a way. I kind of wish
Yeah.
it had achievements, but who knows? Maybe they could patch it in somehow.
Mm-hmm.
My final thought on the whole thing, I really do hope it's backwards compatible with the PS5, because the PS4 have so many bangers, and they're going to continue getting more like as time goes by. And you just won't be able to play every single game this generation, because like, especially when you're like a grown man with a family,
Yeah.
time is very limited. Time is really precious. You,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So obviously you're not going to get that much time, especially because of work, kids, this and that. So at
I
least,
agree.
if some of those games you get to play them on PS5, that would be great. I'm all for it, man. And I'm sure a lot of people within the PlayStation Nation, they're
Mm-hmm.
all for it too, man. So it's something that I would not dispute.
All right. Well,
But
it can only help. It can only help bridge that gap for gamers. So that's always a good thing.
yeah, it could fill in the void for certain people out there,
Yeah.
definitely.
Now, one thing we don't want is, and which I kind of rag on the Xbox about it, is you don't want to forget about the new games and just focus solely on all the old games, which I think at the moment, for the last couple of years, I think the Xbox has kind of been doing.
Yeah, look. I don't mind the feature. I just don't want it to be the main focus. Do you
Yes.
understand? Because that's what Xbox seem to be doing with their console when it comes down to backwards compatible.
Hmm.
It's great having the feature, but don't make that your main focus. Focus on new games. Don't focus on just controllers and this
Yeah.
and that. Do bring out new bangers. Your fans out there, they want to see new games. There's people out there that are willing to pay to buy new games, and they want to see diverse, array
Hmm.
of games. Period.
Yeah.
But yo, let's get to the next topic, man. Crash Bandicoot, the insane
Mm,
trilogy,
mm.
has broke all kind of records, and it was number one in the UK charts for this week, and he even beat Horizon Zero Dawn in first week sales, man. In first week sales, it beat Horizon Zero Dawn, man. What
Wow.
do you have to say about that?
It's not shocking. I mean, so far, this generation, Sony has pissed excellence. So, it's just another stepping stone where it seems like you deliver the goods, the gamers will come out, they will buy, they will support. And Crash Bandicoot, man, is just one of those games. A lot of us grew up with that mascot and with that series. And it's good getting back to the series and seeing the beautiful graphics that they were able to, bring back. So I mean, I bought it. I couldn't help but to buy it. And obviously, a lot of people, over in the UK either. But we're waiting on those MPD sales, and I'm pretty confident that Crash is going to kill the MPD chart as well here in the States.
Yeah, but I just find it scary in a way because I guess nostalgia is a really powerful thing, and for it to surpass Horizon Zero Dawn,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to say about that. I think that's saying something. People still
Mm-hmm.
like old school platformers out there, and they're willing to pay for more. They probably, I don't know. Maybe they want Spyro the Dragon. They want
Yeah.
that collection. They may want a Jack and Dexter collection, or maybe a Sly Cooper collection. I think they want everything,
Well,
and
I
they're
tell you,
willing to pay for it too. Ratchet and Clank
yeah,
did really good too,
exactly.
as
I
far
tell
as
you
I
this:
remember.
if they keep delivering the quality of games, of old nostalgia games like the Ratchet and Clank and this here Crash Bandicoot, sign me up. I don't care. They can bring, Sly Cooper. They can bring back all of those games because guess what? It's breathing new life in the game. It's a new twist. Besides graphics, but the gameplay and the controls, and it basically brings everything more modern. And so I don't find anything wrong with that. That can be another subset of uh, variety of things that Sony has in their portfolio that is showing the dominance this generation. Unfortunately, I can't say that on the other side of the train, but Nintendo is stepping their game up as well. They got Splatoon 2 coming out. So, I mean, that's what the conversation is on. Right now, it's on the greatness and it's on the Switch.
Oh, definitely, man, definitely. But you know, I don't know what to say though, man. I just believe Sony should just acquire the Crash Bandicoot IP from Activision.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing that it sold that much copies, that especially in the UK
Yeah.
and most probably everywhere else around the world, I really think Sony should acquire this IP. Just get start talking turkey with Activision. Say, look, all right, then we give you 200 million. Give us the IP or something. I
Yeah.
just don't know if
That's
they're gonna do it. I don't know, but
I,
I really believe they should make Crash Bandicoot their
mhm.
main mascot again.
I would enjoy that. But
The people have spoken though. You know what I'm saying? Look, numbers don't lie. People went out in numbers to buy this game, and it's broken all kinds of records. It surpassed, Sony's big IP, this year, Horizon Zero Dawn. So what is that telling you?
yeah,
That people care for Crash even till this day.
exactly. Well, I'll tell you what, when we're talking about mascots, yes, Crash Bandicoot has kind of always been the face of PlayStation, but Sony's had multiple mascots. I mean, when you look at the clown from Twisted Metal, once you see that head, everybody knows it's about to go down. Twisted Metal is a freaking juggernaut of a game. It's right there next, toe to toe, side by side with with Crash Bandicoot. So yeah, man, I don't know. I don't even know why I brought up Twisted Metal, but like you said, the whole nostalgia thing, it just brings back memories. And hopefully we can get some of these games rebuilt back, man.
Yeah, hopefully, man. I don't know. I just have people on the chat asking me about my race or what does my race even freaking matter? You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, what does my race have to do with the podcast and gaming in general? Like, man,
That's
it's just
personal. Yeah.
that's just weird to me, bro. Like
Yeah.
asking me where my family are from. Like, dude, you know how cringe that is every time I read some shit like that.
Yeah.
I really don't get it,
That's why
man.
you just ignore it, man. Just ignore it. You got the weirdos, you know, they're here. Hit the like button, by the way, guys. Hit that like button.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. Now, next thing I wanted to talk about was, well, apparently Japan Studio, they're working on multiple new IPs.
uh-huh.
Yoshida Yoshida stated that, Mr. Yoshida-san, he really wants to bring out new IPs, multiple new IPs for the PS4, and
Mm.
I'm pretty excited to even hear this, man, because Japan Studios this year alone, they brought out Gravity Rush 2,
Mm-hmm.
and we're also gonna get Knack 2.
Yeah.
They also they were assisting Bluepoint with Shadow of the Colossus remake,
Yes.
and I'm also hearing Project Siren are also working on a new horror game.
Mm.
That could be one of the things that they're working on, but we don't know anything else. But what do
Well,
you have to say about this, man? It just goes to show the distance once again, right?
well, God, I can't. I mean, these guys are able to pump out games, okay, every week, every month for years. And now they're coming out, they've already showed us, the next 3 year lineup. And then now they're coming out with more multiple versions of the game already in the pipeline. Sony has solidified itself as, being the greatest game provider of all times. I mean, they're giving you what you need over an abundance. And I do believe a lot of these games will tide over to the next generation because there's just too many games. We probably had 20 games to drop in the first 3-4 months of this year.
Oh
And
yeah.
I think the competition has had 2 games drop so far this year. So I mean that's a pretty big difference. And and Nintendo, they're right on the heels, but it's great knowing that my investment into this ecosystem, into my PlayStation 4 Pros, is healthy, is solid, and it's showing me what I can expect from my $3.99 investment. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to hear.
Now, what if I told you, Mr. Kratos, Mr. God of PlayStation, what if I told you right now, between now and the end of the year, you have 13 bangers to look forward to on the PlayStation 4?
Mm.
What if I told you that, and how would you feel?
Well, I can tell you I can tell you how my pockets will feel pretty flat. Because I'm just looking, at all the games that I've bought so far this year, man. I've at least bought 25 games, and now you're telling me there's another 15 that's going to drop. I mean,
Well, I can name them right now. You're going to get their big first party game coming,
oh
Uncharted: The
yeah,
Lost Legacy,
yep,
Yakuza Kiwami,
yeah,
Knack 2,
mm-hmm.
GT Sports,
Mm.
Knights of Azure 2,
Mm.
another JRPG banger from Koei Tecmo. Everybody's Golf, if you're into golf games, that's just
Yes,
extra variety there for you.
yep,
13 Sentinels from the
mm.
guys who made Odin Sphere,
Yep,
Warriors All Star,
mm.
Dynasty Warriors 9, Hellblade,
Mm.
Nino Kuni 2, the new Gundam game, Gundam Versus, and Matterfall. So that's 13 bangers
Mm-hmm.
that's going to make its way between
Jeez.
now and the end of the year. And that's just freaking scary, yo.
And you know what, Wolf? One thing I noticed, you didn't even mention any of the VR games that are coming out this year.
Oh, I didn't.
You didn't. That's a whole nother ball game.
And we already know Sony made a strong push for VR, announces
Yes,
numerous of new games, like so many new games at E3 on VR,
mm-hmm.
and I haven't even mentioned those. But
Exactly.
yet we're gonna get some of those coming this holiday season, and then along with the 13 games,
Mm-hmm.
wow, it's just insane. And plus, I forgot to mention one thing:
Mm-hmm.
the Horizon Zero Dawn DLC.
You're right. You're right.
That
You
which
are right.
may well, which it could be.
Mhm.
I ain't really 100% sure on this, but it could be a standalone game like Uncharted.
Mhm.
Who knows?
Well, I'll tell you what, man. The naughty gods and the gorilla gurus of gaming, those guys. I mean, they've solidified themselves as the greatest. And one thing I like about it is they keep the competition going. And then I'm ready for
Mm.
Japan Studio, because there's reference of them being part of the Guerrilla Games and the Naughty God legacy once their games are coming out. And Wolf, um, pardon me, but I don't think you mentioned the what's the game with the lady that's fighting it's coming out in August. I don't think you mentioned that.
Hellblade,
Yeah,
Hellblade.
Hellblade. Yeah. I don't think you. I'm not sure if you did or not, but that didn't come to my mind when you were talking. But
Another
Hellblade is
banger.
another game that I'm looking forward to. So it's just healthy for the gaming community to have an option, to have a platform, to have so many games. The executives are not on Twitter. They're not on YouTube. They're in the boardroom cutting deals, spending money, making games, cashing checks, the way real bosses do. So shout out to
Ooh.
Yoshida,
Mm.
Sean Layden, and the rest of you guys over at Sony for keeping my investment afloat and keeping me happy.
Yeah, I would like to give a shout out to Sean Layden and Shuhei Yoshida for making this purchase of the PS4 worth my while. I know, I made this investment and it's been well worth it for me. It's kept me busy. It's also kept me away from YouTube.
Yeah,
I guess that's
exactly.
what happens when you have too many games to play. And I guess, if you don't have that much to play, you be doing a 20-hour podcast every week because,
True.
you don't have nothing to play. You have no games.
True.
So yeah, if there's anyone to blame for me being off YouTube or my absence on YouTube, you have to blame Sony for that. You know,
Shout out to
the
Sony.
more the more they keep delivering, the more I'm going to be away enjoying that greatness.
Yeah.
Period.
Yep.
But another thing, is there anything you want to add as far as these new IPs go? I think
Uh,
it's going to be about 3 games they work on.
yeah.
Some of them are going to be through. I think they're gonna.
Well, let me address the comment section. Hey, Jeb's Gaming, we appreciate that, man. We just want to keep this, we just want to keep this about gaming right now. Maybe after the podcast or something like that, you can hit Wolf up on Twitter or something like that. But right now, we just want to focus on the games because we are a gaming podcast channel. Just being respectful and just telling you, we're trying to concentrate on entertaining you guys with this content, so we can't focus on where people are from and something like that. But hit Wolf up after the show on Twitter, and I'm pretty sure you guys can chop it up. All right, Wolf, go
Well,
ahead,
yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah. You could hit me up on Twitter at Supersonic Wolf. By the way, the Wolf is spelled with a 0 and not an O. Just so I let you know. So yeah, hit me up on Twitter, man. Look, but I ain't really here to talk about people's
Yeah,
race or my race. Like that's nothing to do with gaming. I want to keep it about video games strictly, and that's why I'm here,
exactly.
and that's why I do this.
Yeah. What's
This
the
ain't the
what's
channel to do that.
exactly what's the what's the next topic? What else we got? Because we got a lot of stuff going on, man. I mean, on the Sony side of things, games
Oh man,
being delivered.
there's always things going on in the Sony side of things, man. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable, man. There's
Well,
always something to talk about. When you look at Sony's Twitter account, there's always something new that they're tweeting. Whether it's Sony, whether it's PlayStation's account, or whether it's PlayStation Europe or PlayStation America or PlayStation Japan,
mhm.
or the Middle East or whatever. There's always some activity going on, and always something popping. There's always news here and there.
Yeah.
But I wish it was like that for every other. Definitely, that's not really the case. But we can only pray,
Well,
right? We can only pray to the gaming gods that everyone can enjoy,
yeah.
greatness in their own respective, platforms. But
It feels good, man, not to have to talk about any specs or it feels good just buying a console. just focusing on the games that you see on the screen without, worrying about what's inside of it like a PC, But yeah,
Yeah.
we play games, not
Oh man,
spec sheets.
it feels so good, man. The fact that we don't even have to talk about specs and
Yeah.
numbers and teraflops, what's in the CPU and what architecture, whether it's Ryzen or Vega. Like, I don't care about shit like that.
Yeah.
If it don't have bangers, then get that shit out of my face. Period.
And those are the facts.
Nah, man. Like, honestly, man. Like, it's always been about the games, even from the beginning. Since the beginning of time, it's always been about games. And
You're right. You're right, man. You're right.
I don't know. I heard something in the background. But there's something that I really wanted to talk about. But do you want to talk about it now about people being unappreciative, or do you want to leave that for another day?
No, let's go ahead and talk about it now. I think it's the right time, the right conversation to talk about this.
I don't know, man. I just feel like, it don't matter what platform you're on. You could be an Xbox gamer, a PlayStation gamer, or Nintendo, or PC. It don't even fucking matter, right? But I really feel like gamers are really, I don't know, they're unappreciated when it comes down to games in general, man. Like, when they see something like Tekken 7, they'll say some shit like, oh, it don't look all that great. The characters look blocky. It looks like dog shit.
Yeah.
But, the era that you and I come from, we've been around since the PS1, even before that, in fact. But we played the very first Tekken on PS1, and the characters look blocky, right? When you look back at it right now, they look really blocky. It was polygon based.
Yeah.
And, it was 3D, and we were blown away by that shit, right? We're like, oh my God, this is 3D, man.
Yeah,
this is fire, man.
We made that transition from sprites to polygons, and that was nothing short of amazing. We never seen that before in a video game. So that's why, I remember, playing NBA in the Zone for the PlayStation. Basketball game on the PlayStation. It was made by Konami. And I swore it was the most realistic, lifelike, photorealistic game ever. And then, once the PlayStation 2 dropped, I went back and played that on my PlayStation 1, and I was like, what the hell was I thinking? That game it looks trashy, but only because the advancement in technology has kind of caught up, and it's kind of pacified us and made us.
But here's the thing that I'm trying to say. The point I was trying to make is that you were talking about NBA, I was talking about Tekken 1.
Yeah.
And, back at that time, a lot of people, when they saw Tekken 1 for the first time, they were blown away. They were like, holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
3D graphics.
Yeah.
Man, this is fire, yo. And now that, 25 plus years later, they look at Tekken 7, they're calling it dog shit. They're calling it trash.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? They're saying, oh, this doesn't look all that great. And I'm like, look, if you come from the era I come from, and you've been around since Tekken 1, you would appreciate a game like Tekken 7. It's like these kids have it really good right now. Now, if you're like 15 years old and you're listening to this podcast, yes, I'm talking to you motherfuckers out there. You're the guys who are not really appreciated when it comes down to the enhancements of these games that we see fit right now.
Yes.
Like, you don't really appreciate that shit because we've been around since the 8-bit era and the 4-bit era.
Exactly.
And we've seen the industry evolve to the fullest.
I agree. I agree 100%. I think a lot of people take the artistry and our hobby for granted. I think a lot of people, you got to realize, Wolf, a lot of these young cats out here, they grew up on the Xbox 360 era. These are the Call of Duty babies. These guys haven't played anything else. This is what they grew up on. So they don't remember the original Xbox. They don't remember the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2. They don't remember Atari and the ColecoVision, the TurboGrafx 16. They don't remember the Odyssey and Intellivision and the
3DO and all that.
Yeah, they don't remember, the 3DOs, like you said, and the Neo Geos. They didn't take that progression. So guess what? They don't have a love for gaming like we do. because that wasn't part of their. They didn't have to go through anything. This is why these guys are able to, I call
Yeah,
them the Call of Duty babies.
yeah, they are the Call of Duty babies, and they got it good, man. You know what I'm saying? Compared to what we had and what we went through, you know,
Mm-hmm.
they got it real good because they come to that point. They arrive at this point where the bar has been raised so high,
Mm-hmm.
that it's reached the ceiling nearly, and once it does reach the ceiling, you won't able to go any higher, and you're gonna
Yeah,
get games that look ultra realistic.
yeah,
They're gonna look like CG. A lot of them already look like CG.
yeah.
Like
Look at
Ratchet
your
and
Ratchet
Clank.
and Clank. Look
Yeah.
at they're
Look at games like Horizon
Horizon
Zero
Zero
Dawn.
Dawn.
Yeah, when you see a game that looks like Horizon Zero Dawn and you look at the environments and everything like that, just imagine what they do with PS5. But then when
Exactly.
PS5 drops, these gamers out there that call themselves gamers, they're not going to be appreciative. They're going to
Yep.
say, "Oh, I don't know, it doesn't. I don't know. I don't like the colors here, and I don't see enough here." They're going to nitpick this shit. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
That's
when
what.
I look at these motherfuckers that complain about it,
Mhm.
I don't know what to say about these frauds, man, because they've only been around for what 5 to 10 years in gaming, and you're complaining about this shit. While, like I said before, we've been playing since the first Mario, the old school Battletoads, Double Dragon, Contra, Chrono Trigger. Now
Calypso,
we put,
yeah, Super C, yeah, it's Contra, super, all
and
of
then
this.
when I see Sonic, the new Sonic game, Sonic Forces, right? When I see that compared to what I played with the very first Sonic game,
Yeah,
right? I appreciate that. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? And then I see gamers, babies nowadays, dogging this new Sonic game. I'm like, what the fuck are you saying? What the fuck are you talking about? This shit looks fire, yo. You
yeah.
know?
But because it's not a shooter or a racer, again, Wolf, these guys grew up on the 360, so this is where their heads are. They didn't see that natural progression, so they don't have a love and a passion for where things come from. So they're able to toss aside games and call them dog shit and say, looks this, or, and stuff like that. So they pass up a lot of games, but those aren't, I refuse to believe that those are the majority of the guys. The majority of the guys went out and bought Ratchet and Clank because guess what? They grew up with that character in their household. They know what that character stood for when they were kids.
I know people our age and even older
Mm-hmm.
complaining about graphics that you see in today's games. Believe it or not.
Well,
I see it.
they must be playing on Xbox. I mean, I don't know.
Maybe, but like
Bloody
it's
eyes,
crazy.
720.
It's not only that, dude, man. I'll be honest with you. Even when it comes down to the pricing of these games,
Mm-hmm.
moan about the price. Now, if you've been around since the 80s and the 90s and you were gaming since then,
Yeah,
and you looked at the prices of these games, they were mad expensive. People had it way harder back then compared to how people have it now.
exactly.
Games were like $70 to $80.
Yeah.
If you're in Canada, you're fucked because it's even more expensive there.
Listen, I remember having Neo Geo.
Yeah.
Okay, each game, King of Fighters 95, cost $199. Yes,
Holy shit.
$200. I was able to get one game a year when I was in middle school because of that, when I bought that Neo Geo. I'm not going to say it was a bad investment because I still have it and it still works. But the mere fact that I spent all my money on this console, I think at the time, I think we paid like $500-$600 just for the console. It came with one arcade joystick and
Yeah,
0 games. And so I
exactly.
bought the console and I had to wait like 4 months before I was able to get a game. And then, I bought the bit cartridge and those games, I played that for a whole
Yeah.
year until I was able
Yeah.
to get another one. So,
Yeah, so like people complain if a game is like 60 or in the UK it could be like 40 to 50,
yeah.
but people complain over that shit. But
Yeah.
when you looked at these cartridges back in the day, they were even more expensive than games what we have right now.
Of
And
course.
even the games that we have right now,
Mm-hmm.
we have sales all the time. Weekly sales, every
Yeah.
month there's the big sale going on. Games are usually like 60 to 70%
Yeah.
off, right?
Yeah.
And you could get some of these big AAA bangers for like, $10 or £10.
Yeah.
and people still complain over that shit. You know what I'm saying? They're
Yeah.
not really appreciative compared to what we had back in the day. Because
That's
remember,
true.
cartridges were really expensive to make, and you
Yeah.
rarely ever get sales. The only time you probably get a sell on those games back in the day, we're talking the
Christmas
80s and
time,
90s.
birthdays.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Christmas time, bro. Black
Birthdays,
Friday and
Christmas,
maybe
right? Yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah.
But here we get sales on a regular, like every week. There's
Hmm.
always a sale on something, and people still complain.
Yeah.
That's why when
Well,
I see Twitter, like when people bitch and moan over like petty stuff, I
yeah.
just feel like muting them motherfuckers, man. I just can't take them seriously no more.
Yeah. So sort of how guys try to they want to boycott a developer or a game because it didn't come out on their platform of choice.
Like Cliffy B, like they want to boycott Lawbreakers, even though
Yes.
it's not even on their console, but they want to boycott it anyway.
Yes.
I'm like, bro, who the fuck are you to boycott something? The shit's not even on your console to begin with. So
Yep.
get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Exactly. And the reason it's not on their console because they didn't buy any of the previous games anyway. That's the
Oh no,
that's
but
the
here's the thing:
problem.
they think a developer is meant to be loyal to them.
Yeah.
That's what they think.
Yeah.
You know, if Gears of War came out on the PlayStation 3 last generation, it probably would have sold the same amount of copies.
I agree.
And you know, he made nothing but bangers back in the day
Hmm.
during the 360 era. And then he got away from gaming for a bit, and he decided, hey, you know what? I want to assemble, a small studio. Like, let's get some people together and let's make another game. And they made a game on PC, and now he wants it on consoles. And he chose PlayStation. That was his first choice. If I'm a developer, Kratos, I
Hmm.
probably would have done the same thing.
You're
Because
right.
I got my pockets to think about. I have my family to think about. I
Yeah.
don't give
You're
a fuck about what fan base I have here and there. You know, at the end of the day, I look at the numbers. That's what matters to me.
Yeah. Well, all Cliffy
Because
B did.
200 motherfuckers on Twitter, they're not going to feed my family. I'm sorry, they're not going to do that.
You're right.
Now, the 60 million install base,
Hmm.
now I can see there's potential there. There's a lot of potential there.
Yeah, but Wolf, think about the developers, okay? Think about the developers of Rise, Son of Rome. Think about the developers, of Sunset Overdrive. Think about the developers of Dead Rising 4. Think about the developers of I can keep going, Scream Ride. I can keep going on and on for days. Think about those developers that got laid off, that studios got closed down, that people didn't get paid because guys sat on Twitter all day crying and went on YouTube, made videos, but they didn't support those games. And now these are the same people that are crying for sequels to those games. Oh, I can't wait to get a Rise 2 or a Sunset Overdrive 2. All the games that they didn't buy.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, though. Like, you want to talk about it now, but you didn't appreciate it when you had it back then. So why you want to talk about it now?
Yeah.
That's been the problem with people. Now you're hyping up 360 games on Xbox One, but
Yeah.
back then you probably never bought the game. So that's why you're hyping it now. You want to appreciate it now, but you never appreciated it back then.
No, I
See,
like
that's what it goes back to when I'm talking
exactly.
about people don't really appreciate shit.
Yeah, you're right. Because they hype it up when it comes on games for gold. But it's like, why were you freaking idiots when the game was on the store shelves?
Yeah.
But now it's the best thing since sliced bread. Now that you have no games and you're sitting there looking stupid, and and now it's about spec sheets. But I digress, man. We kind of went on about that. We gave our piece. All I can just tell guys, no matter what platform you have, support your developers, support your platform because it's not promised to you. Look at the Dreamcast. Most people would say that's probably one of the best consoles ever made. It was definitely ahead of its time, but it didn't last long because again, guys didn't support it and other reasons. But I'm just glad that we do have
I'm
choices
I'm
out
just
there.
I'm just glad that like I said, and I don't want people thinking I'm a corporate slave to Sony because I'm not. Right? this is just me showing my appreciation to Sony, because I'm just glad that I have a company out here that's willing to listen to the fan base, that's willing to bring back the nostalgia games like the Crash, the Jack and Daxters, the Ratchet and Clanks, and they're looking to bring more experiences to the console. They're looking to take risks with VR and everything like that. They're looking to, bring multiple new IPs out there for their fan base. They're willing to give that variety, and they're looking to invest a lot of money into the ecosystem and into the console itself.
Yeah.
And they're willing to actually improve on their PlayStation Plus as well. They're giving, they've been giving a lot of good games with PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
This month we're getting a first party exclusive, Until Dawn, and Game of Thrones. I don't care for that, but hey, they're still giving you one banger out there.
Yeah.
And I think just this year alone, we've had a lot of first party games being given out on PlayStation Plus. I know we had Tearaway.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had Little Big Planet.
Yep.
And now we had Until Dawn.
Yeah,
and I'm sure we're gonna get more and more as time goes by, but they really don't have to. But they're still doing it. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, what's going on here?
I hear you.
But yeah, that's what's going on, man. And yeah, another thing I wanted to talk about, man. There's a new update for Horizon Zero Dawn, which adds a new game plus called the face pay options and new trophies. It just goes to show that they're looking to support the game, and the game will continue to have legs.
Yeah, and not only that, they've already said that the game is going to have a sequel. So again, if you want sequels and you want the greatness to keep coming to your platform, you have to go out and buy. You have to support. That you can get online, you can cheer your favorite corporate company all you want and your favorite developers, but the only way you can show your appreciation is by buying their product.
Most definitely, man. But it's great to see that they're adding new features to the game. I remember there was where they added some features for photo mode, where she could pause in a certain way or whatever. I think that was cool. But now they're adding even more things.
Yeah,
like it's just awesome seeing Guerrilla do this kind of stuff. And then they're gonna obviously have the new expansion coming real soon. And there wasn't even a season pass for this game, and since there wasn't really a season pass for the game, I feel like this new standalone, this new expansion may well be a standalone. I'll standalone that you don't really have to own the game to play the expansion. I think that would be cool.
Kind of like First Light, as it was to Infamous.
Yeah, kind of like First Light, and the upcoming Uncharted, the new Uncharted game.
Yeah,
it's pretty much the same thing.
Basically, they're giving you a slightly smaller game from the original one, but it's a whole new game, and I think that's freaking amazing that developers would be able to do that. Now, mind you, these guys are not even charging you full price, Wolf.
I know, and it's AAA quality as well.
And it's AAA quality, yeah. It's
And speaking of AAA quality, man, have you seen the new Hellblade that's going to come out real soon in September?
Oh man, that game looks beautiful. I can't wait to play it.
Well, this game is AAA quality, right? It looks absolutely beautiful, and it's gonna only be, I believe it's gonna be like 25 UK, 30 US, or
30 US, $29 US,
yeah, man. And they're saying it's gonna be like an 8 to 9 hour campaign. Like the story mode is gonna be 8 to 9 hours, and it's gonna at that price. I think that's value for money right there. There's no way you can complain about something that's 8 hours and you're getting it at a price like that. Like this ain't what we had with Kojima. Remember Ground Zeroes, man. You can beat that in 10 minutes, right?
Yep.
Less than that even. I know somebody who beat in 6 minutes.
Exactly.
You just ran the whole damn thing and that was it. You speed run it. But this, I don't think you can really speed run it like that, I don't think. It's just the way the game was designed, but I think it's a really good price, and you're getting great value once again at AAA quality.
Exactly.
And NAC as well, by the way. NAC is only going to be $29.99 in the UK. I think that's going to be $39 US. So that's value right there in itself.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are offering you AAA games for half the price, and they're showing, again, that's how these companies can show me their uh, you know their love for this industry is to.
I just think Sony are putting prices like that because they already know they're on overload right now. They're on overkill.
Yeah.
When it comes down to bringing out exclusive bangers, they have way too many out there.
Yeah.
You said before that their bench right now is insane.
It is. They have,
like they have
3 years worth of game lineup that they've already showed you, not including what they have in the works.
Exactly. Strong bench right now.
Can you imagine what it's going to be like at PSX this year? It's going to be a curb stomp.
Who knows, man? But I'm really glad that Sony are really prioritizing PSX more than E3, and as well as they should, because this is their own event where they get their own time. They don't have to share that time with anyone else. Focused on them, right? They're gonna have all the media attention. They're gonna have all the media coverage on everything that they announce, and it's not shared with any kind of third party or Microsoft or Nintendo or whatever. It's all going to be about them only, and that's what Microsoft should also do. I've been trying to reach out to them, trying to tell them, hey, you need your own dedicated event. You know what I mean? More. It's more like a fan service.
Yeah,
I've always said it, man. Like when you do your own shit like that, man, I consider that fan service.
Yeah,
because you're inviting your fans to this event, and you're more intimate with your fans. You know what I'm saying? You get to greet them, you get to talk to them. It's you have a blast once you're there for the weekend at PSX.
Yeah, and last but not least, but you get to show them the bangers. That's what it's all about.
Most definitely. That's what it's all about, man. And I've said this for a very long time. And even Nintendo, I gotta give them credit, man. They have their own Nintendo Directs. They have them here and there. Like 1 month they may do a direct here, and maybe like two months later they may do a direct over there. But they keep doing their directs.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing about Nintendo. They know their lane. They stay in it. They cater to it, and it's been amazingly successful. You still can't get your hand on the Switch, and you're probably not going to be able to get your hand on the Switch until the end of the year, when people are going to have to fight for them for Christmas time.
Oh yeah.
So.
But yeah, man, like one more thing I wanted to talk about, man. There's been a huge fake outcry on the Anthem footage that was uploaded for YouTube channel, or the PlayStation YouTube channel. People took notice that it's the exact same gameplay as what we saw during the Xbox E3 press conference. It's the same gameplay, same movement, blah, 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 blah. And, people would there was a huge uproar about it, right? There were so many articles. People were shitting on Sony. People were blaming Sony. And I've said it from the beginning, man. Like, this ain't the first time it's ever happened. This has happened before. With other publishers out there.
Yeah.
Usually whatever you see, any gameplay you see on screen isn't really the true representation. It's never been that way.
Yeah.
Do you remember when they showed Watch Dogs, right? For the very first time. I'm talking about the very first time when they unveiled the PS4.
I remember.
That wasn't actually the first time. They showed it a little bit before that. But I saw it once at the PlayStation meeting when they unveiled the PlayStation 4. That was the event where they unveiled the console, but they didn't show the console. I remember that.
Exactly.
So yeah, they showed the game. It looked absolutely incredible. And then when the game finally dropped, it didn't look nothing like it, right? I'm like, where was that shit? Was looking like it was running on a $30,000 PC.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So this ain't the first time it's ever happened. And then you had Xbox uploading PS4 gameplay. Yeah, PlayStation 4 gameplay of Watch Dogs.
Yeah.
And, people caught it that, hey, look at the button prompts. It's all PlayStation button prompts and everything. Yeah. And, Microsoft apologized, saying, look, we were given the wrong footage or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. People kept it moving. But as soon as Sony uploads something that they're not really wrong for doing it, because they're just look, when it comes down to the industry as a whole, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Hold on, what's going on there? Yeah, when it comes down to the industry itself, right? You
Mm-hmm.
get publishers, you get PR teams that hand out, they email assets, and when it comes down to gameplay videos in zip files and this and that, they do all of this shit.
Yeah.
PNG files, this and that. So then you could open it, and then you could just upload certain assets, and you could promote the game. It's all promotional material at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, that's all it
So
is.
obviously, what EA did, it was EA's fault, and they're freaking really stupid for it.
Mm-hmm.
But then I can't really blame Sony because, I heard Craig. Now, shout out to Craig. He was talking about, Sony are also wrong for it. They should have, checked up with the whole quality control thing. They should have really analyzed the whole thing before putting it up.
Yeah.
But really, you had to put that shit and zoom in 10 times
To see it.
right? To see that shit.
Yeah.
Nobody would have noticed that shit. You know what I'm saying? Even I didn't notice it.
Yeah.
Because what I really thought, right, is this just might be PC footage, right?
Yeah.
One of them was with the Xbox button prompts. The other one was with the Sony button prompts.
Mm-hmm.
But then we heard, BioWare going out saying that this is Xbox One X footage. But then if that's the case, then why are you giving this footage to Sony? It makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
So who's the one frauding around here? Obviously, it's BioWare.
Exactly. Well, and here's the thing about it, okay? Who cares? It's a multi-plat. The game is coming out on every platform. So you don't own that game. That game is not exclusive. Now, it would have been different, okay, if it was exclusive to the Xbox. But this game is coming out on every platform. Who cares? That's just like, you can swap Anthem around with Call of Duty. Guess what? Who cares? It comes out on every platform. But it's the fake outrage. It's because guys have no games. There's nothing positive going on their side. All we're seeing is, the Xbox One X is not as powerful as the guys portrayed it. It's struggling on, to hit certain parameters on a lot of games. So guys want to, try to take Sony peg down, a notch, and that's fine. They're entitled to do that. But at least have something constructive to something solid.
Yeah, have some dignity for once, man. Like, you need to go along with the facts, because you can't blame Sony for that.
Yeah.
All they did is they were past something and they just uploaded it onto their YouTube channel, and that was it.
Yeah.
And they had the decency to take it down. Once they noticed that EA fucked up, they took it off their fucking channel, and that was it.
Yeah.
And they're still talking about it. No harm, no foul, like you say.
Yeah.
And, Xbox has not only done it with Watch Dogs, which was PS4 footage, they've done it with The Witcher, which was PC footage. Yep. I remember one time at E3, they showed Battlefield 4 for the very first time, and that was PC footage.
Yep.
Remember Dead Rising 3?
Yep.
You heard that Windows sound that time? That was PC footage too.
Yeah, it happens all the time. We know at E3, guys. I mean, look at the Exodus. Look at Metro Exodus.
Yeah.
The guys lied and said, yeah, this is running on the Xbox One. It wasn't. It was running on a PC, just like most of everything there. There was only like 2 games. You got Forza and you have Assassin's Creed that was running physically on an Xbox One X. Everything else was on PC. So, again, that's why I was so underwhelmed by Microsoft showing. I was impressed at first, but when I found out everything was basically on PC, then it's like, okay, well, this was your chance to show the people what this hardware can do, and you didn't do that. You showed what the PC could do. You're not supposed to be showing what the PC can do. You need to be showing what this system can do. And so that's why, again, I was underwhelmed, and I knew Microsoft, they're the kings at bullshitting the fans and the folks.
It's not, to be honest, man, it's not only Microsoft. Like, look, they all do it. Every single one of them do it. You when it comes down to Activision, Ubisoft, Sony, Microsoft, they all freaking do it.
Yeah.
EA, they've been doing it for a very long time. I remember seeing certain trailers for FIFA, and it
Uh-huh.
looks so damn fucking real, man. Like we
Yeah.
thought, man, this looks better than real life.
Yeah.
But the game didn't turn out to be that way.
Yeah.
I remember.
If you
Do you
ever,
remember the emotion engine on
I
PS2?
remember. I remember
You
that.
know, I remember people were hyping this thing up,
Yeah.
saying that it will do photorealistic graphics. It will do
Yeah.
photorealism.
Yeah. I
Oh my
remember that.
bad, man. I see freaking
It's okay, man.
police outside and everything, man. That's what
Yeah.
you know. That's what you know. I live in the ghetto.
Wolf
Nah,
is
I'm
in
only
the
playing.
Wolf is in the hood. You know, you heard the
Nah,
shots. You heard the shots. Now I'm just joking. All right, man.
yeah.
Tell you what, man. It's what other, do we have any more topics?
I wanted to talk about that Digital Foundry thing. How they were
Yes.
talking about how the Xbox One X, when it comes down to the benchmarks and everything, it's not really performing to what
They
Microsoft really
stated.
promised. Yeah,
It's underwhelming. It's a limp noodle. It can't keep it up. It is what it is. They overstated this console as being the beast from the West, and now it's looking like it's a pack of ketchup. I hate to say it, guys, but Microsoft, they overhyped this console. Instead of them saying, "Look, Sony has the PlayStation 4 Pro. We're gonna give you the Xbox One X." And you'll be right there playing, some games in 4K, whether it's checkerboard, dynamic, whatever. And just be modest about yourself. But no, you have idiots with microchips in their mouths. They're saying all of these lies and about true 4. They're making up terminology that don't even exist. True 4K, and you look up the definition from Microsoft on their website what true 4K is. I mean, damn near 1080p is true 4K. Anything can be true 4K according to them. So they have no benchmark or matrix on what 4K means to them. So I think I'm calling bullshit. I'm going to go with industry terms, and which is 4K, which represents a 2160p signal. And again, for all the hassle that Sony got by the Xbox fan base for having the Pro using some checkerboarding techniques and stuff like that. Now they have to eat Pro.
So pretty much, Xbox have confirmed, well, Microsoft have confirmed that the PlayStation 4 Pro is also true 4K.
Yes,
if I'm not mistaken, because they said Assassin's Creed is true 4K. That's what they said, and when they showed the trailer for the first time, it said that on the screen. I remember a little overlay on the side saying it's true 4K. But come to find out, it was also checkerboarded. So it means that the PlayStation 4 Pro version, the PS4 Pro version of Assassin's Creed Origin, is also going to be true 4K.
Exactly.
That's what you're saying then, right?
That's correct.
Man, then I don't know what to say, man. I don't know why people are going to pay extra for getting the same thing. I guess what could be different, maybe the text.
Later,
I don't know. Maybe the textures can look better or something like that.
$100
Maybe better draw
more.
distance.
A year later, $100 more. No exclusives. No new games for 2 to 3 years, according to Phil Spencer. I just don't. It's a hard sell, man. It really is. It reminds me of 2013 all over again. That just disappointment.
Do you know what would have made up for the whole thing if it was at least $399? I think it would have been worth your while, definitely. If they made it the same price as the Pro, that would have forced Sony to cut the price on the Pro and try to make it, maybe $299 or $250 or something like that.
Yeah.
It would have forced them to do it, because if you have a beast like that for like what, $399, man.
Yeah.
Well,
it would have made it. It would have made up for not having games. That's what it would have did. It would at least, Again, I think the X is just. I mean, the biggest selling for it. It's able to take your existing, all your old games, basically, because it's a console with nothing but old games. It's able to take all your old games and make them look a little better. That's the way I can explain the X. But that doesn't ooze premium to me. Premium is when you're getting Spider-Man, God of War, and all these new games that you've never ever played before in your life. But I digress.
Another thing, since we're on the Xbox topic right now, we need to talk about one other thing. Since there hasn't been a whole lot of things going on with Xbox lately. There was a tweet today by the official Halo account saying, well, Halo 1, Halo 3, Halo ODST, I believe Halo Reach and 4 are going to be backwards compatible on the Xbox One with free DLC. And that's about it. It's pretty much you're playing the 360 game, and that's it.
Basically.
But like, don't we already have the Master Chief Collection? That's what it's there for, right? Dedicated servers, 1080p 60, improved lighting and textures. You got Halo 2 Anniversary along with it.
Yep.
You even have the remaster of ODST included. So what is the point? I think it was a waste of resources right there. You could have easily worked on a different game to be back compat instead of the older Halo games. I remember like earlier this week, I don't know if it was this week or last week, they announced Call of Duty Ghost being backwards compatible. I'm like, why are you gonna do this? Don't we have Ghost already?
Yeah.
On the Xbox One and PS4? Like, Ghost has been there. Like, no one cares for Ghost. Once again, I'm saying wasted resources, man.
Yeah. Here, but you know what, Wolf? I think I finally came to the conclusion, bro. Microsoft is giving its fan base the fan base want and needs. It's giving them that. It's satisfying them for whatever reason. It's only us guys who care about new games, new experiences, the bigger and better things. We're the only ones that are asking Microsoft, hey, where are the games? Where are all of these things? I thought you guys are competing. We're the only ones asking that. The Xbox fan base is not asking that. And I think they're content with what they've been getting, which is old games, backwards compatibility, indies. I mean, these guys are excited for Cuphead, which is a game that probably would sell more on the Switch. But this is what they have to look forward to. And so guess what? If they're happy, fine. Okay. But it's just not for me. I hate to say it's not for me. And I do want to buy the Xbox One X, and I said I would, but it's getting harder and harder by the day, especially as Digital Foundry come out saying, well, a lot of these games are, it's turning out to be weak sauce. It's a bunch of weak sauce.
I guess so, but it is another thing though. They also announced that Halo 5 will get a 4K update. Now I don't know what's included in the update, but I had fun playing Halo 5 for what it was, but when it comes down to the visuals and the graphics, I guess one or two of the missions look okay, but the rest of it didn't really look that great. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. The textures look really horrible. It was blurry. You had texture popping issues, draw distance issues. Don't get me wrong. It was 60 frames per second, and it played good, but it didn't look that great. There was compromises made with Halo 5 Guardians. You know what I'm saying? And I really feel like they need to do more than just 4K. That game needs a complete makeover. It needs a completely new skin on top.
I agree.
Like, they need to improve the character models, the environments, the trees, the textures. Everything needs to be improved in that game. And even like stuff from the campaign, they need to improve that too.
Mm-hmm.
Really show what the Xbox One X can do. Like, show the power. And now this is your first party game right here, man. This would be the perfect time to show what it can do as far as updating the current game. And Halo 5 will be that game that it can do it with. Because if you're just going to give 4K only, it's not going to do anything for me. I want to see more than just 4K. I want to see, improved lighting, better lighting, better particle effects, better looking textures. They need to add more textures to the freaking game. Because there's a lot of places in that game where it just feels so flat. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
It has flat textures, man. Muddy textures.
I just think, man, they're not they're just not gonna do it.
Well, we'll wait and see, though, man. But you know, they really need to look what they're doing with Gears of War 4. They're gonna give 4K, and I'm sure it's gonna look good. But what they should have done is show a screenshot and a side by side. I'm sure Digital Foundry are gonna do that anyway. They're
Mm-hmm.
probably gonna do a side by side comparison between Halo 5 on a regular Xbox One S and the One X, and just show the difference.
Yeah,
And hopefully, it's a night and day difference because I just don't want it just to be 4K because that's just not going to do anything for me.
I agree.
That's all I'm trying to say. But that note, man, I think we should leave it right now. We just end it right here.
Okay.
And yeah, I do want to thank everybody on the chat for joining and being part of the chat. And yeah, man, is there anything you want to add before we head off? Tell them about the Godcast that we're doing tomorrow.
Definitely, man. You guys are gonna have to check out the Godcast tomorrow. It's going to be a different topic. It's going to be something different, and we're really going to bring some passion in this one. So you guys just gonna have to check it out. Check it out on Twitter. We're gonna I'm gonna do a little run, a couple of tweets out there, just kind of get you guys warmed up for what we're gonna bring tomorrow.
Definitely, man. Is there any game you want to recommend to the fans out there?
Guys, to tell you the truth, man, I mean, there's so many games that are coming out, and there's so many games here. I've still been on the Farpoint on VR. I've been on this. Oh man, there's so many freaking games. Obviously Crash. Elite Dangerous. I've been on that. I'm still trying to learn that. I'm gonna get on there with a couple of friends. It's I don't know. Craig is gonna get it. I have a couple other guys, that that are gonna be on my friends list and stuff like that. We're gonna give that a go. I think Craig is kind of the master of that, but I'm still in that learning phase. I went out and bought the HOTAS hands-on throttle and stick joystick for this game to test and see how this thing is. And so I've just been busy with a lot of that, especially as I came back into the country. So I'll tell you guys, just there's plenty of games on the PlayStation side. Go and buy them. The Switch has a ton of games. ARMS is another great one. Obviously the Mario Kart. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. And then at the end of the month, you have the big banger, Splatoon 2. It's dropping, as well as voice chat is dropping date and date with Splatoon.
Yeah, that's what's up. And yeah, soon you're gonna get an app where it'll allow you to stream your Nintendo Switch. Am I correct?
That's correct. They had this one app that was out that allowed you to do that we saw it out in the wild. So some great things coming from Nintendo, man. It seems like they're keeping their users engaged. Fresh content on top of all the indie games that they drop. I believe they drop every week. There's 2 indie games that they add to the list, whether it's SNK games, whether it's games you can get on the PS4 and the Xbox One. That system just continues to amaze me. So look out for them. According to analysts, they're going to be number 2 spot by the end of the year. So hopefully Microsoft can pull this thing out and start back competing.
Yeah, and hopefully they could compete at Gamescom. Oh, I forgot. Apparently Phil Spencer is not going to be at Gamescom, according to his recent tweet. And he explained why he won't be at Gamescom. He said that he's got family commitments, which I fully respect.
Yeah.
But we don't understand that. If he's not going to show up at Gamescom, it just goes to show how important Gamescom is to them, because it shows that they may not even announce anything new, or it could be just another repeat of E3.
I keep saying it, Wolf. It's all smoke and mirrors with these guys. That's why I don't pay attention to anything they say.
Well, Aaron did say this, though. He did say that we're coming to Gamescom, but they're not going to have E3 level announcements. And what is E3 level? Because there wasn't anything that new at E3 besides multi-plats and timed indies. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm pretty much concerned for them when it comes to Gamescom, But apparently they're also going to Tokyo Game Show, which I'm pretty excited about that one.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? They may announce some Japanese games on the Xbox One, so who knows about that? But then you also got PSX to worry about. That is the
Mm-hmm.
big event. I don't even care what Sony show at Gamescom, because I don't think they're going to show a whole lot. I'm excited for Shenmue 3. That's the only reason I'm excited for Gamescom, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah.
It ain't because of what Sony may show. It ain't because of what Microsoft may show.
Mm-hmm.
It's because of Shenmue 3. I'm going to keep it real, man. But let's see what happens, man. Between now and the end of the year, there could be a whole lot of news, a whole lot of announcements. Even we also have the Video Game Awards, man. We also have game announcements then, too.
Yeah, but I mean, come on, it's Microsoft we're talking about. We know what to expect. We've been saying let's wait for E3, then let's wait for a holiday for 4 years now. I mean, we got to get out of that battered wife syndrome. It is what it is. If you're an Xbox fan, you know what to expect. You know not to be expecting a ton of games. You know you're not going to get any Horizon and Zelda big blockbuster games. They've already stated that. They stated that the new games are coming, 2 to 3 years away. They're telling you this, but you guys are in denial about it. I hate to say it. I mean, I don't know.
We'll see how it goes, man.
Yeah.
But yo, shout out once again to everybody on the chat. And shout out to the PlayStation Nation, man.
Definitely.
Shout out to the good people. I ain't talking about the weirdos out there. I'm just talking about the good people within the PlayStation Nation. And shout out also to the Switch gang and to the Xbox Nation. Always appreciate you tuning in and watching and hearing that knowledge. We're trying to drop that knowledge week in and week out so you guys can get it.
Yes, son.
But yeah, man. All I can say is, tune in same time, same place next week for episode 23. That's Michael Jordan's number, by the way. 23 of the Greatness Podcast. Greatness and 23. It's a match right there, yo.
Definitely.
And yeah, man. I'm done for today, man. There's one more. Is there anything else you want to say?
No, man. We can wrap it up. Thank you guys for rocking out with us and communicating in the chat section and stuff like that. Hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Hit the bell. We will see you
I just
when
want to
we
say one more
see
thing. I just want to say, do all of that, man. Do everything that the God of PlayStation is saying. Hit the like button, hit the bell, join the notification gang, subscribe. Share this to your mama, your mama's mamas,
your baby mamas,
your baby mamas, your baby fathers, let them know, yo. Let them know about the greatness, bruh.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gone.
And we out of here. Peace.
Peace.